When you think of Hawaii, what comes to mind? Is it surfing? Volcanoes? Beaches, pineapples, or flower leis? If it were any or all of these, I wouldn't be surprised. That's how we see Hawaii. That culture is what Hawaii means to us. But what people often don't think of is Hawaii's last ruler, Queen Lili'uokalani. Now, she was an amazing leader who we could all stand to take a couple of lessons from. But before we can get to her story, I'm going to give you a brief history of how the Hawaiian monarchy in general came to be. In 1791, Kamehameha united all of the island of Hawaii, and within 10 years, he had brought together all of these Hawaiian islands together under one kingdom, with himself as its first ruler. After his death, the legacy of monarchy continued downwards, and the next important king that we're going to talk about was Kalakaua. Now, Kalakaua was important because he really revitalized traditional Hawaiian culture. He brought back traditions such as hula dancing, chanting, and traditional Hawaiian mythology. Now, while he did contribute significantly to this sort of Hawaiian renaissance, he also put Hawaii in a difficult spot politically, and after his death, Queen Lili'uokalani had to take on all of that responsibility. Now, even though she was in this very tough situation, with lots of problems with Hawaii going on, she still had lots of great ideas for how to improve her country and try and retain its independence. And one of these ideas was the Hawaiian League. So the Hawaiian League was made up of two organizations, one for men and one for women. And this organization's job was to inform, especially Americans, of the plight of Hawaiians, to let people know that Hawaiians do not want to be annexed, that they want to remain their own independent nation with their own independent culture. And now the way in which they raised awareness, for the most part, was through petition drives. Now, these drives were incredibly effective. In less than a month, these two leagues together raised over 21,000 signatures and sent them off to the United States, trying to convey their message. So, as a leader today, how do we channel that kind of success? The solution is pick causes that your team is passionate about. If you pick things that people care about and care about the success of, they're going to work harder and longer and more efficiently to ensure its success. Instead of if you pick something that people are sort of blasé about, they don't care if it succeeds or fails. If you pick something that is near and dear to their heart, they're going to fight for it. So next, Lili'uokalani also ensured that people remembered that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. By reinforcing culture and composing songs that are so beloved, such as Aloha Oi, by writing her own book of Hawaii's culture while she still could to maintain all the traditions that they had had, she reminded people that there was more than just the struggle, that once they got through this, what were they fighting for? They were fighting for the culture that they cared so much about. Now, this may not be exactly something you can replicate today, but still, it's important. You can remind people that things like Casual Fridays or bringing Secret Santa back at Christmas time can remind them that there's more than just the struggle, that at the end of this all, they have an opportunity to go back to normal life. In addition, even when she was imprisoned in her own palace, she traveled to the United States to petition for Hawaii's freedom. Now, you may not be able to meet with the president as a leader today, but you can go to a higher up in your company. If things aren't getting done, if the normal diplomatic channels aren't working, go to someone with more authority and tell them, this isn't working, we need to fix it this way, help me do this. And you'll be so effective. Finally, Lili'uokalani proved she was a great leader by being willing to give up her position of leadership. Now, there was a rebellion while she was imprisoned in her own castle of Native Hawaiians trying to free her. It was unsuccessful, and afterwards, these people were detained and threatened to be killed if she did not abdicate the throne. So she was able to give up her position of power because she cared about these people. As a leader today, the situation may not be so serious, but if your team, who you've worked so much with and who has done so much for you, is in trouble, you should be willing to sacrifice your position to help them out. That's how to lead like Lili'uokalani. Lili'uokalani was a light in the dark for her people during one of Hawaii's most difficult times when they needed her most. If we all lead a little bit more like her, the world would be a better place. Thank you.